even though everybody calls it wasabi, and that was a big disappointment in my life.
Oh God,
And
that's really a bummer, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's actually one of the few nice guys I met. I mean, a lot of the like high-powered.
Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't say this.
No, yes, you should.
A lot of the high-powered people aren't very nice.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we'll name some names here. What are we talking about?
I'm not going that. It's just
well,
usually
you're not. You weren't thrilled.
If
you
really
didn't come away with a great. I mean, when you met Steve Jobs,
right. Well,
you said he's everything
that people say he is. but at the same time, I kind of like that. I mean, it's interesting.
Because he was authentic to what his image.
Absolutely, and it's interesting meeting people who are that driven and who live in their own world. I mean, that's true of people like Richard Stallman too, who's one of the gods of open source programming. Right. He's so driven. He's so self-assured just because he knows what he does is right. And it's very interesting meeting people like that. You may not like them as people, but they're fascinating.
Now, is it possible? Suppose that tomorrow you got up tomorrow morning here in New York City, and you said...
Actually, tomorrow morning I will be back. So.
Okay, back where?
Back in Silicon Valley, San Jose.
Okay, let's assume. Okay, so tomorrow morning you get up in San Jose, where they've got quite a few billionaires, all right? Right. Less than they used to have.
A lot less. Yes.
A lot less. And you decided, I've had it all wrong. You know, we've got this thing, we've created this thing, and enough is enough. I'm going for the bucks now. Is it too late?
It is. I mean, in a very real sense, what I did with the copyright and what I've done knowingly has been to not try to hoard the copyright. So when somebody else makes changes to Linux, I don't ask him to assign the copyright to me. So I actually don't have any rights to a lot of the system, except the rights that other people are willing to give me, which are the same rights that I'm willing to give other people. So what you will find is that nobody can control Linux. I don't have any more rights than you have.
Right.
If you wanted to, you could buy a Linux CD, you could get it over the internet, you could make your own changes, and you could sell it as your version of Linux. And you could make a lot of money doing it, maybe.
Boy,
right?
I could just hear all over America people saying, what did he say? What did he say?
Well, the point is really that it means that everybody's very comfortable with me, because everybody knows that I can't force anybody to do anything. I'm known as the kind of spearhead of Linux. I don't have any power to tell IBM, okay, you'd better do this or I will never work for you again. I can't do that. Which means people trust me because they know I'm powerless.
True. There is benefit in this.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
I want to just do interesting things. That's what I've always done. That's why I moved from like 6,000 miles from Finland to Silicon Valley. I went to work for a company that wasn't even talking about what they were doing, which a lot of people felt was strange. Hey, here he goes from open source to working for this commercial company, and they're so close. They're not even saying what they're doing.
This is a company partially owned by Paul Allen, isn't it?
Well, that generated some really interesting rumors. Okay, he's being bought out.
Yeah.
And the reason I did it was that I felt that Transmeta was doing something really interesting and something that I wanted to do. That's something fun.
I should ask you this simply for the record. What's the future of Linux over the next 5 years?
I don't know. I don't control the thing. I'm actually, the single nicest thing about Linux as far as I'm concerned has been how it has evolved in ways I hadn't expected it to. People are doing things with Linux that I never envisioned. People are doing things with Linux that I'm frankly not that interested in, and that's fine. And it's very interesting to see how people use Linux, even if they use Linux in ways that I would never use it. So I'm hoping that, I mean, in 5 years, if I were to make a prediction right now, which I'm not going to, if that prediction actually came true, I'd be really disappointed. Part of it...
Because it ought to be unexpected.
Yeah, a lot of the fun has been that people have done things I never expected.
What's the best and worst thing you can say about Windows?
Well, I don't know. I'm actually not a big Microsoft basher.
I didn't ask you to bash them. I asked you to tell me the best and worst thing.
Well, you did ask me to say something bad about them.
No, I asked you to say what's the best and worst thing you could say about Windows.
The best thing is that it's certainly very widely available.
And it offered...
and people are very used to it. It's
God.
Even when they don't...
Let's try damning with faint praise.
Well, no, but I mean, the way people work is that they don't care if something is good or bad. They care
if it sells.
No, they care if it's something they're comfortable with. I mean, even the people who curse Windows, I mean, I know a number of Windows users who, they hate the system. They curse how it crashes, that you have to save every time before you print. That's like everybody complains. They're still happy because they're used to it, right? And that's why Microsoft is so successful. They don't even need to improve it that much because they still have 100 million people who are used to it.
Yeah. But I can say the best thing to say about them is they're out there trying to figure out where the future is what they're doing.
They're very good at marketing. They're very good at trying to see what do we have to do to sell this thing. The bad part about it is that they do have a huge market share, and that means that they can be lazy in certain things.
Mm.
They don't have much of a competition on the desktop, which means that they have very little incentives to really fix some of the problems they do have.
Yeah. What do you think of .NET and XML?
Who knows? I mean, .NET, I think, is a way to try to sugarcoat the fact that they're trying to move their whole business into this pay-as-you-use kind of thing. Right. And I don't know, when I have a house, I'd rather own my house and take the problems than rent it. And I think the same is true of software.
Yeah, so you think they may be on the wrong track?
That's my personal idea, yeah.
This is going to come as a huge disappointment to those boys.
Oh yeah, they really care about what I think about them, right? Right. Yeah.
You are terrific. Linus Torvalds, Creative Linux, and David Diamond, his co-writer. Just for fun, you can see why he was attracted to that title by just having a conversation with him. Congratulations. Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.